figured out how to use a lock.
Check it, dude.
Oh, dude.
It's,
looks good, man.
Looks to me like the timing is off. So I'm gonna check that. Give us a few more minutes to look at it and appraise, and I'll give you a call back, okay? Yeah, I mean, so the oil pressure gauge in the dash does read low.
in the metal
And then he was saying,
that I saw already.
okay, so that's what I want to see is the oil, the metal in the pan.
Look, you can see from just that.
Yep. Let me zoom in.
Oh yeah.
New motor.
Oh yeah.
That's a minimal of what I saw. I saw more than that earlier.
You right. That's a new motor status.
Oh, y'all can see it right there on Ethan's phone.
Looks like gold, baby.
Looks like gold.
We
Baby.
struck gold,
We
except
struck
it's the
gold.
opposite. It's a misfortune instead of a fortune. Shoot.
I saw that already, and I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have stopped.
Yeah.
Anytime
Yeah.
you see that, that's halt.
Yeah, and then he texted me
That's
like
all.
as if he knew, like, hey,
Shit.
do you think the motor's bad?
Ah.
Yeah, and that's when VQs wear out, are the rings.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why they'll. Well, I mean, it'll be nice to have a rebuilt one, anyways, because
Yeah.
they
Heck
so
yeah.
damn well.
I'll feel better about, assuming we don't see any damage to the crankshaft, I'll feel
Yeah.
better about rebuilding this and being like, okay, you're gonna get, major mileage out of this now.
Right.
Versus just grab another kind of crapshoot from the junkyard. I'll hold the box down and just lift that up on there. There you go. There we go. You just keep your hands on it. Yep. Keep your hands on it and keep it twisted like that. Now we do need to put a bolt in that. You're good. You're good.
Yep, we're good.
Got it.
Brian Little.
What you thinking?
Okay, well we're getting somewhere. We're about to get to the real reveal moment and see how it looks.
The
on
big
inside.
reveal.
But you did capture this right. That it is missing and a very important O-ring right there. That's
Yeah,
the
that
one that
was
we
gone.
found in the bottom of the oil pickup. I guess it probably fell off while somebody was installing the oil pan at some point, or yeah, something like that had to happen. But that's definitely a reason for major oil pressure loss.
While breaking this thing down, we definitely found a lot of things that were mistreated, but we're gonna get them all fixed up and righted.
The RTV might have had it making like a 40%, 60% seal or something.
Yeah, there is a lot of RTV
Especially
on here.
at low RPMs.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of nasty stuff.
All right, so here comes the big reveal.
The bearing sticks to the crank like that. Usually it will come out in the cap.
Sure.
Oh, but it's not stuck too hard. Okay, it looks.
not too
That's
hard.
what I wanted to see. I
of
knew it was
slippage.
gonna be worn, but
slippage,
it's
yeah.
not too terrible.
Okay.
You don't see any copper in this one, which is usually the deeper layer of the bearing.
Okay.
So if you don't see that, then you haven't gotten too deep in it. So hopefully none of them. Now, if you look at the surface of the crank, that looks beautiful. Yeah, that looks beautiful. It feels, to the touch, it feels perfect.
Yeah, it's very smooth. Damn, all right.
Well, that's a good sign, man.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good sign.
We do have to keep these caps with their respective rod for sure.
Okay. Just get some new bearings.
Okay, so far, I didn't want to pull the heads off yet because I wanted to see the crank. It kind of looks like we're good on the crank.
So
Usually a bearing will fit tight into the cap to where I'd have to push it in there, but this right now is very loose. Like it definitely has some wear on it, and maybe some heat too. I think usually extreme heat will misshape it like that and make it where it just kind of falls. That's why it clung to the crank rather than
Clung
to
into
the
that.
cap. Like
Because you're
usual.
supposed to fit those straight
Because
into
that
that.
should be kind of a pressure fit kind of thing. You know, you put the tang in, and then you feel a little compression right
Yeah.
there, but there's no compression on that bearing anymore. That looks okay.
Crazy.
Crank looks and feels good there. So.
And like the line on this,
Mhm.
that's not concerning. Just that.
I mean, we
That's just
expected
wear
that,
and
like,
tear.
cause see
Okay.
that's some of the chunks that we found down in the
Okay.
pan. So we expect to see that. In fact, we want to see that because if we didn't see that, then we wouldn't know where those
Yeah.
chunks came from.
This one, you have to like really pull this one out.
Yeah, that one takes a little bit more prying than, in fact, maybe I can use. It seemed like the orange stuff peeled right off the
And then this-
layer
Uh-huh.
of the black stuff. The black stuff, I think, is OEM.
OEM, yeah,
I would
right.
assume
So somebody did a real great job of cleaning that off. Like, not
Yeah.
only to add all the RTV they did, but then to just not even like
Clean
look
off
how
the
much-
old gasket.
Look how much
I would
that
say
is.
they like maybe 1/8 asked this job.
If that, 1/8.
Like, how did the pan? Look at where that gray is. How did the pan even sit flat there? And they thought like that's good. Crazy. Crazy. Actually, you know what? This is not OEM. Look how much there is of the gray stuff too.
Yeah. They might have just been like, you know what, let's go ahead and just put both.
I think they did it once and they're like, oh, it's still leaking, or they decided to revisit and do something else.
Yeah.
They probably changed the oil pump and they're like, oh, the oil pressure's still bad because the O-ring was missing.
It's pretty thick. Oh yeah, that's good.
Nice,
Wow.
nice.
Oh yay, it's lunchtime.
Hope that was a good woo. Oh god. Okay, cool. So I think they're all at. I'm going to check that they are. Okay, so it's all torqued. The crank still spins smoothly, so that's cool.
Get a towel in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels good.
And where are we at with this thing right now?
So we got pretty much just this short block. Well, not even a short block, I would say,
Yeah.
because it's really just rods, pistons, bearings. So the new rings are in there. We gapped those to size. The new bearings are in there. We also plastic gauged each of the bearing clearances to make sure that everything was going to be good for us in the long run, and all those came out well within spec. So we're hopeful that everything else will continue to come out dandy.
Pretty well
and,
with
yeah,
this.
And we should have a solid motor.
Waiting on parts, and then we're gonna get it back in the 350, and that will be part 2. Start up. We didn't expect to have to rebuild this thing, but Ethan struck gold.
The opposite.
The opposite of gold. Yes, exactly. Well, hey, make sure y'all tune in for the part 2 of the rebuild, and we'll see y'all next episode.